Hello friends, welcome back. This week we are going to dye some more cotton. I'm all for that cotton. I got 4 skeins of Pima cotton that I'm going to be using. So yeah, let's just get to it, shall we? First off, I need to put some zip ties on my skeins and we're going to soak it. Let's soak the yarn. Okay, so I got 4 skeins, Pima cotton, and I'm going to add zip ties to each skein. Just simplifies the process. You got something to grab onto. I've got reusable ones. You can find those on Amazon. Better for the environment. And the second one. There we go. And the fourth one. So since this is cotton, we are going to use soda ash to help fixate the color to the yarn. And you need about 60 milliliters of soda ash per liter of water. I've got 2 measuring cups here that holds 2 liters each. So 4 in total, which means I need 4 scoops of the soda ash. And this spoon is just about 60 milliliters, so I'm going to use that. So I'm just adding that. 1, oops, 2, 3, and 4. And the water is lukewarm. This helps. Usually you always work with cold water. But in this case I'm using lukewarm water, and it's just to help dissolve the soda ash. So I'm adding the water. Just going to stir it a little. It doesn't matter if it hasn't dissolved completely, because it will dissolve on its own eventually. Go. And I'm grabbing the yarn by the zip ties. Oops, like so. And we're just going to add it into the tub. I'm going to use a spoon to push the yarn down, just to make sure that everything gets soaked properly and the fibers open up to the dye. If the yarn is dry or partially dry, it won't, the color is not going to stick. Something like that. And I'm going to let this sit at least half an hour. With cotton I usually do a little bit more. So we're just going to let it sit and soak until it's completely wet, and then we can get on with the dyeing. Ladies and gentle cowboys, let's get some dye on this yarn. It's been soaking for way longer than I intended, so it's time. We have a tray here, my setup for the dyes. This is all soaked and ready, of course. Got an old empty yogurt container with some water, a spoon to just poke the yarn. I have got some gloves. I have got my face mask. Always wear a face mask when working with the dyes. It is an incredibly fine powder. You do not want to accidentally inhale that. I've got a couple of measuring cups here in the back. I've added about 2 cups of water to one of them, which I will be using for blending the dye, one of the dyes in. Got a couple of teaspoons. Again, make sure it is all your tools are only used for dyeing and not for in your kitchen as well. My little mixer thingy. And today we are going to use, Dharma fiber reactive dye in the color Sweet Pea. I don't know if you can see that. As the base color. And I'm going to attempt to sprinkle a little of Peony from the same company, also from Dharma Trade. And I have also got some magenta from Colorcraft. I might add a little sprinkle of that on top at the end. I'm not sure yet, we shall see. But let's start with blending the dyes. So I'm gonna put on my mask. All right, now we got the measuring cup here. Like I said, I'm going to use Sweet Pea as my base. Now I'm thinking about, let's do half a teaspoon. Is that a lot? Maybe a little less than half a teaspoon. And we'll just sprinkle that in there. This is quite a deep pink. It's quite possible we could have gone with even less. We shall see. And I'm mixing it to make sure the dye powder dissolves properly. And this is our dye stock. I'm going to fill this cup, or actually I'm going to put half of this dye stock into the other measuring cups. And I'm going to fill this one up to 2 liters and this one 1 liter, because I don't expect to be using more than 3 liters for this, because I do want some of the yarn to kind of poke up from the water so that I can sprinkle other dyes on top of it. So let's get going. I'm going to transfer the yarn over to the pan over there and we can start dyeing. First off, we are going to transfer the yarn to the dye pan. And I'm just gently squeezing out some of the water. I don't want to make too much of a mess. Like so. And the third one. The great thing about dyeing cotton is that you don't need to heat set it. You just add the dye and just let it sit. I usually let mine sit overnight. There we go. All 4 skeins. I'm going to set this aside. There we go. All right, I am going to spread the yarn out evenly in the tub, like so. And we're going to start adding the dye. Now what I did, I added about 1/3 of the original stock that I made to make the color be as even as possible in both measuring cups. So now we're just going to add it in. There we go. And adding in the other one as well. Like so. grab my tools over here. There we are. Okay. First, I'm just going to poke the yarn. I'm looking to get dye in pretty much everywhere. As you can see, this will be a very, very light pink. Always take care in the turns up here with the ties and at the bottom, because the yarn will naturally be thicker because you have a loop. Okay. I'm also pushing it down into the water. Something like that. Next, I'm going to pinch it, make some of it just come above the surface. This is why I only used 3 liters. Often I will use 4 liters of water when dyeing. This is going to spread into the water as well, but I do want some, attempt at least to have some pops here and there as well. It stands out. We shall see. So I'm switching to a dry pair of gloves because I'm going to sprinkle dye with my hands. I don't want wet gloves when I do that. I'm just going to grab a pair here in the background. Alright, next we are going to use the Peony, and I'm just grabbing some in my hand, and we will sprinkle it lightly here and there, mainly on those areas where I have made the little pinches. There is some color breaking here. I'm getting a little bit of blue, which is absolutely fine. A little bit of red actually as well. Add in a little bit more on the edge here. And I'm just playing it by ear. I think maybe something like that. Yeah. I'm just going to let that sit and develop, probably overnight, and we'll see what we got. We're ready to rinse. I am very excited for this yarn and how it's looking, and excited for what it's going to look like after we've rinsed it. I have my rinsing tub here with cold water and some soak. I prefer this one when rinsing yarns. I do carry these in my web shop, the smaller bottles, but you do not need to have this. You can use dish soap, you can use shampoo, whatever you fancy. So let's get on with the rinsing. I'm going Just squeeze out some excess water. And we're transferring it to the rinsing bowl. Now this one has been sitting overnight to process. And there's just a slight pink hue in the water. Not a lot at all. It has pretty much exhausted completely, which it usually does when it's such light colors. Set that aside. Now I need to use my soaking tub to pick up the skeins. Okay, let's see if we can find a zip tie. There we go. And I'm just dunking them in the water. Oop. Did we snag another skein here? There we go. And just squeezing out the water. You don't want to wring the skeins. You might hurt them. If you use soak, you only need to do this once. I do prefer to rinse twice though. Second skein. If the skein gets a little bit messy, you can just move the zip tie a little bit and just dunk it like this, and it will usually resolve itself actually. Squeezing out the water. This is looking very, very pretty. Let's see, can we find another zip tie? There's one. And oh, there's one. Okay, let's grab this one. And squeezing out the water. My camera battery died just at the end there. Anyhow, I have rinsed all 4 skeins. I'm going to rinse them once more. Not because I need to, but I prefer to do it twice. So I'm going to do that, and then we can hang them to dry. Let's review the final results. How do you like that? I'm very pleased with it. My cherry blossom colorway on cotton looks very good. We do have some speckles in here. I got some, can you see that? There we go. We got some pink speckles in here. And we got the light pink that is just covering the entire skein. So yeah, it is for sure cherry blossoms. At least that's what they look like where I live. I love this. So it is possible to speckle on cotton as well, like I showed you. Just got to make sure you don't dunk it into the water because it will spread immediately. And yeah, this is probably going to be another summer top. I'm making all the summer tops right now. So, but I need them. There's a huge lack of summer tops in my drawers. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got inspired to dye some yarn yourself. And if you do, tag me. I'd love to see it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
You got me feeling good, right about your side, lost in every move.